Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boutique CEO with Chris Williams. I am Chris Williams, and I am super excited to welcome my guest, Dagmar Khan, here with me. We're going to be talking about how you can 10x your renewal rate today with the clients that you already have inside of your programs, whether they're working with you in a low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. Dagmar is a specialist in client retention, and I thought that this would be such a great topic to share with you. So, Dagmar, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here.
It's an honor. I'm really, really excited to talk to your audience and really share the secrets of what does it look like to 10x our renewal rates, which is ultimately not just about business growth, but really having that deep soul satisfaction of serving our clients well and ultimately journeying with them on a journey called life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this topic so much. I've had people who have stayed with me for years. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of times when people are building and growing their business, whether they're at six figures, multiple six figures, seven figures, they can get caught in the trap of new client acquisition all the time, right? Okay, where's the next client from? Where's the next client coming from? But being able to renew your clients that are currently working with you is so powerful because when you increase the lifetime value of your client, it also creates a deeper connection, a deeper relationship, also, and increases your bottom line. So, tell me a little bit, or tell our listeners a little bit about you, Dagmar, and why you decided to get into this specific area of genius.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, my name is Dagmar Khan, and I am a client journey designer. So, I typically work with established coaches, thought leaders, and experts. And in most cases, Chris, they would already have good programs, solid content, and happy clients. And yet they are really finding themselves working so hard around marketing funnels and launches just to keep up with the revenue numbers.
Mhm.
So I typically like to link my arms with my clients and help them in some instances recreate, in some instances create from scratch really meaningful client journey so that their own clients are designed to stay with them,
Mhm.
grow with them, and of course, refer more amazing people like them into their
Mhm.
programs, offers, and services. So ultimately, the business can grow through exactly as you said, massively increasing a lifetime value of client and the actual client staying power.
Mhm.
And I often indeed get asked, like, what got me into this space?
Mhm.
I have naturally embedded a tremendous amount of legacy and loyalty inside of myself when I come across the right mentor or the right
Mhm.
service that is a yoga membership that I am part of for last 7+ years. And I
Mhm.
literally feel like this is my home and I am not going anywhere else. With that being said, I have been in the coaching and transformational space for over the last 20 years, and I have really seen through my own journey what either makes or breaks really good programs, really good offers, what makes clients stay, what makes clients go. And I have realized through my own journey that this is such underserviced aspect of our businesses that truly it is in my greatest service to double down on supporting a really incredible people in the world doing incredible work on helping
Mhm.
them hold on to clients that they have worked so hard to get in the first place.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about that client journey for the listeners who just kind of want a little bit more specifics on, or that might be asking, like, what is a client journey? Do I have one? I don't even know.
That's such a beautiful question. And I think when we think about client journey, we have been, especially in the coaching space, so deeply trained in creating signature offers, right? What is
Mhm.
my signature method? What is my
Mhm.
signature process? What is my signature curriculum? And if we were to sort of expand the idea of a signature program or signature process into client journey, is kind of an understanding, almost like an architect, of
Mhm.
not only where our client starting point is, whether somebody is, let's say, doing a healing and recovery work in marriage, or
Mhm.
someone is supporting parents in growing up incredible and well capable children, or someone is doing work like you, specifically around helping women establish and grow a boutique style type of business, is really understanding the point A and the point B, which is typically the signature offer, but then is
Hmm.
also understanding ultimately the larger journey a client goes on in that specific aspect of their life. So for example, if we were to, can we create example of marriage? Is
Yeah,
that valuable?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
fantastic. So let's say a signature offer for someone who is bickering with their partner like 2 to 3 times a week and is
Mhm.
creating so much distress. The signature offer becomes, how to stop bickering and
Mhm.
ensure that arguments can be well resolved, even become portals into greater growth, deeper trust, and more intimacy. But once that set of problem or that set of aspiration is being accomplished, you want to be asking, okay, what is the next chapter? What is the next piece? What is the next aspiration? What is the next yearning for my ideal, my beloved, my destiny client? And chances are there will be other aspect of marriage that want to be addressed or improved or healed, because ultimately we all stay at the altar
Mhm.
forever, now and
Mhm.
ever. And it's really creating those processes and support and curriculum that actually allows women to have a beautiful marriage, not only for a decade, but ideally for the course of a life.
Hmm. Oh, I love that. So when we put that in perspective of a holistic service-based business, what we're looking at is your signature program is going to solve a set of problems, but then we also want to know, well, where else are they going to go? How else can they stay with you and continue to get support as they continue to evolve and want to create even more transformation? So I love that explanation using the marriage. So let's get into the renewal piece. So how we're talking about 10 different ways that you can actually, expand and renew the people and keep them in your world longer. So tell us. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear.
Let's
I have
dive
to come
in.
back and take
Let's dive
notes.
in. Yeah, absolutely. So I would love to shift away from 10 different ways to actually 10xing the renewal rates.
Sure.
And I think, we could look at it very much as like, what does that renewal conversation actually look like? But
Hmm.
instead of just focusing on what I like to think about as one aspect of renewal process, I would love to share with you and with all of our amazing listeners really are three core elements.
Hmm.
One being the mindset piece, one being the architecture piece, and the final one actually, what is the most important element for your client as it relates to renewal? Shall we look at it this way?
Yeah, sounds great. I love it.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's start with the mindset. And what I am observing across the industry, what I'm observing a lot, especially from soul-centered, heart-driven entrepreneurs, is some set of assumption, presumption, and outdated beliefs that are actually
Mhm.
not supporting them to elegantly hold the renewal conversation or the renewal structure that support 10xing renewal rates. And
Mhm.
often there is a sense and underlying belief that asking our clients to renew and continue investing in working with us can be greedy, can
Mhm.
be manipulative, or can be somewhat unfair.
Mm.
So many times I'm hearing something alongside, if I ask my clients to renew, it just looks like I'm just after their money and after their
Mhm.
wallets and credit cards, or something alongside, they have already paid me so much, they surely need a break from paying to me. So the mindset that I invite every single client to adopt to really succeed with renewals is understanding that renewals are not necessarily act of sales. Now, personally,
Mhm.
I love sales. I adore sales.
Mhm.
I adore ethical selling. But I also know, Chris, that generally speaking, especially for women entrepreneurs, there is a
Mhm.
lot of weirdness around selling and
Yeah.
the ethics of
Yeah.
selling. So if that is a challenge for those that are listening, the beautiful mindset to adopt is that asking our clients to continue working with us and investing in our services, programs, offers,
Hmm.
membership masterminds, and beyond is not actually a sale. It is an act of stewardship. I'm going to
Hmm.
repeat that. It's not an act of sale, it's an act of stewardship. And basically, what you're thinking, especially when you have a really meaningful client journey in place, is understanding that your client has come to you at a position A. Now, ideally, providing you have co created amazing results, they are at position B and they have yearnings, aspirations, or emerging needs at this point B. So ultimately, when you understand it, where your client is and where your client is aspiring to go, inviting them to continue working with you is not really a transactional process. It's an
Hmm.
act of deep and ethical stewardship that truly support your client, whether that's their healing, their growth, their evolution, or simply having partner in life as it relates to the topic that you're serving your clients around.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much because it takes the pressure off you needing to try to make a sale or close the deal, which really is, can be very uncomfortable for women who are trying to build and grow a business. They know that they need paying clients, but they don't want to feel that, salesy component. So I love this mindset of seeing it as stewardship. And I think that all sales, especially in the transformational world, should be seen as stewardship because we're
Mhm.
helping them to create a transformational result that they want and helping them actually do that in a way that's going to be a lot quicker than trying to do it on their own. And so I really, really love, setting them up for success from that. And the other thing that I just wanted to kind of add to this, and I'm sure you're probably going to mention this as well, is that when we don't actually invite our clients to continue and they still have those aspirations, they're going to find it someplace else.
Mhm.
So we are doing them a disservice by not actually supporting them into that next level. And I know, I've seen and I've even done it myself where there wasn't another place for me to go with a coach. And so I worked with a different coach or a different mentor and then kind of went off track from where originally I was. And then kind of it all gets confusing. But when we can actually support people in multiple capacities along their journey, it actually helps them continue in that transformation instead of taking a left turn or going backwards or getting too much information or going in a direction that's actually not serving them.
I love this so much. And I love that you share the element of not being invited on the continued journey and needing to find your answers or the support structure somewhere else.
Hmm.
One of the reason why I am able to co-create amazing results with my clients is because I study customers' behavior. I
Hmm.
study customer psychology. And I remember a conversation I had with someone in the field who has been sort of in the transformational manifestation space for quite some time. And she, as the customer, shared something with me that is probably gonna stay with me for the rest of my life. She said that she had a mentor she absolutely loved and adored and fully trusted her work. And at the end of, let's call it a 6 months program, she wasn't invited on a continuation journey because of the
Hmm.
second element we're going to speak about shortly, which is
Hmm.
related to structure. And this woman felt so disoriented in
Mm.
where she finds the community, the support, and the structure she needs in order for her to really integrate and implement all the
Mhm.
learnings and experiences she has had over the last 6 months. And it
Yeah.
has put her on a journey of, walking backwards, like
Hmm.
backsliding. And
Hmm.
it took her entire 19 months to find herself in a place that she has the next right mentor to actually course correct and begin to have what she needs
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
place.
Oh my gosh, I see that so often. I see that so often. The word that you use, kind of backsliding, exactly happens, in multiple ways. Even if there is a place for people to move into, if they think that they don't need to, or if they feel like, well, let me just kind of implement it on my own too. I've seen that happen as well. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm back to where I was, or they slide backwards, or they fall off track, or and then they end up coming back and saying, "I want back in. I really need some help."
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's dive into
Absolutely.
the architecture part because that is that second step.
Yeah. So we've spoken about mindset,
Hmm.
piece of stewardship, act of stewardship, which takes us really to this next piece. And that is thinking about when it comes to 10xing your renewal rates, of creating a pathway for your clients instead of a program.
Mm-hmm.
Pathway instead of a program. So, what I mean by this is low renewal rates is more often than not nothing to do with a sales skills or sales capacities. Are certain sales skills required when it comes to renewing your clients? Of course, but it's
Hmm.
much more about sales and, excuse me, it's much less about sales and much more about ultimately designing the pathway of growth and evolution for your client. So, in a typical world, a program itself, whether it's a 3 month signature program or a 6 months business coaching experience, has started kind of like a start and end date baked into that,
Hmm.
which is not necessarily wrong. I'm not inviting anyone to
Hmm.
necessarily change the timeline of their programs. However, what's really important is when you're facilitating your program, you're bringing in your coaching calls, in your community, in your one-on-ones, the language of a continuation, the
Hmm.
language of evolution, the language of a pathway. So in an ideal world, of course, you have whether it's for your clients staying in the same program for the next season,
Hmm.
or you have some type of ascension or upsell offer. This is very much where building your client
Hmm.
journey comes in place. But ultimately, you want to be in a place where the invitation to your clients to stay with you, to continue working with you, is not coming like a storm out of a blue sky.
Hmm.
It is something that likely your clients have been already thinking about, have been already considering. Maybe they have had a conversation or two with their partner around it because it's a language that you have been bringing into the current experience of working with you.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I love that distinction between renewing into the same program, or having another pathway into either upselling or another program or another experience that they get to have that's going to allow them to continue. So, so important. I think a lot of times people just think that there's like this stair step, right? It's like they start
Mhm.
here and then they go here and then they're done. But I actually like to talk about it more, at least in my call it, my offer suite, my ecosystem is more circular. So people can come in at one place, but when they finish, they can also come back to, for example, my membership. This is the Success Studio. People can start there, or they can finish the year-long program and they can come back there and continue to have support based on the level that they want. So I love that you're helping design this in a way that makes sense for both the coach or the practitioner and also the client, so that they're getting their needs met.
Yeah, I would love to share a story of a recent client because I think it puts things a little bit of in perspective,
Hmm. Yeah,
especially
yeah.
for people who might be addressing health issues or pain
Hmm.
issues, things of that nature. So, a recent client I work with, she was really, really wonderful at the result. She would co-create with her clients, and typically her people will come to her because they have been diagnosed with, let's say, type 2 diabetes or chronic back pain or journeying through menopause. And she would work with them through a structure that was very, very good at eliminating the symptoms and getting them to some sort of normalcy.
Mm,
However, when the symptoms would evaporate and they will find sort of a ground on their feet, the offers and programs she had in place did not propel continuation.
mm,
So, in our work together, we have created, let's call it a high level membership,
mhm,
where she is partnering with clients as a trusted advisor on
mhm,
their journey of aging well. Now,
mhm,
do you see the
mhm,
difference? The
mhm.
journey of aging well is ultimately an ongoing journey, which
Yeah,
can look like 3 months, it can look like 18 months, it can look like 15 years.
yeah, yeah.
And her clients now are ultimately partnering up with her to support them gracefully, elegantly, in a sophisticated way to age well with
Mhm,
way less aches and pains and medical bills and
mhm,
really enjoy the final chapter of their lives.
mm. I love that. I love the way that you put that. And it's so easy to see that too, right? When you are, and when I say seeding, if someone is working with you on one program, like you said earlier about letting them know that there's continuation, using the language of continuation, when we, have this experience, this is what's possible next, or,
Mhm.
seeding the opportunity to, stay in the world and continue to have support even after the program. I think that's so beautiful. And I love the title of that because it really does, not talk about a program. It talks about an experience that they get to have with that coach long term. I
Yes.
love that. Love, love, love that. Amazing. Well, what's number three?
Number three is let's talk about the renewal conversation,
Mhm.
shall we? We have
Yes,
spoken
yes.
about mindset. We have spoken about a structure shifting from the program into the pathway.
Mhm,
And the number three is ultimately, okay, what does it look like to actually have ethical renewal conversation?
mhm,
So the first piece I want to share is in an ideal world, the renewal conversation is not coming out of nowhere.
mhm,
In other words, a client is well prepared for it.
mhm,
Now, when I'm working with folks who have a 12 months programs, I really love to bring in almost like a structure of 90 days check-in, 90
mhm,
days a pulse check-in, where
mhm,
basically we are in a direct service of a client and we are asking them important questions to help us understand really their experience, to help us really understand the learnings they are assimilating, absorbing. We are understanding meaningfully their success, their
mhm,
setbacks, their breakthroughs, and course correcting what needs to
mhm,
be course corrected.
mhm,
So, for anyone who has 6 months or longer program, it's incredibly important to be in this ongoing cadence with your clients to really be in the best possible position when the conversation about exchanging
mhm,
money actually comes into place. So, the four questions that I would love to everyone to embrace is when you're having this pulse check-in, first and foremost, what's working well that we
mhm,
should double down on,
mhm,
right? And I think this question is so important because, especially in a programs where there is a lot of content, one of the reason people are backsliding or dropping off of planet Earth altogether
mhm,
is they assume that I need to learn everything and be part
mhm.
of every coaching call or catch up the recordings.
Right.
And that itself, overconsumption or overwhelm, is leading to
Mhm.
non-action.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
want to understand in a direct client check-in What are the pieces that are working that we actually want to like put more energy and focus and attention to?
Mm-hmm.
Number two is understanding where are you feeling friction? Where are you
Mm-hmm.
feeling stuckness? Where are you getting yourself overwhelmed? And in that answer, we can, of course, foster course correction, customization, or really guide client to the piece that they need to be focusing
Mm-hmm.
on or how we can support them navigating the challenges. Number three is understanding what has shifted in your area of topic since we have started working together. So,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's an area of health or marriage or business or spirituality, we want to, in a continuous way, helping our clients both reflect, harvest, but also bring in language of the insights, the breakthroughs, the nuances that they are experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
In many enrollment, re-enrollment conversation or many renewal conversations simply don't go through
Mm-hmm.
because clients have never integrated the learnings and the growth they have experienced as a result of working with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So having this quarterly check-in where again client can both reflect, harvest, and language what they
Mm-hmm.
are experiencing as a result of working with us is invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
And number four, this is really where that course correction comes in. What needs to change in how we are serving you or how we are working together?
Mm-hmm.
Chris, imagine every business mastermind on the planet would be asking every single one of their client every 3 months what
Mm-hmm.
needs to change in how we are working together
Mm-hmm.
so that we can 3x your results or we
Yeah.
can make the investment of you working with us the greatest investment you have ever made.
I love those questions so much. And I actually really love question number three because when they're appreciating how far they've come, they're not actually feeling discouraged or frustrated because they haven't hit whatever the final benchmark is that they want. They're actually celebrating how far they've come. And I think that's so, so important. I mean, that creates momentum, that creates an experience of, oh, I actually am moving forward. I actually am moving along. I might not be, at the ultimate place where I want to be, but actually look how far I've come. And that actually adds to the value of the experience that they're having with you.
Yes, yes. And the distinction around it is the perceived value
Mm-hmm,
that the
mm-hmm.
client is perceiving, not the value we are delivering as the service
Yep,
providers,
yep, yep,
the value client is perceiving in their own mind. And again, creating a language around it. So it travels from the unconscious into the conscious, like, oh, wow, wow, it's amazing working with you. Thank you so much.
yeah, yeah, totally. Well, and I want to just also add, like, is this something that you recommend that your people do one-on-one or like a 15-minute one-on-one
One on
session
one,
or okay, one-on-one, great.
one
So
on
you
one.
probably have them fill out like a Google form or, answer the questions first and then go through it with them. Is that correct? Or you're just asking them that
Absolutely.
just
It can be Google Form, it can be
Mhm,
direct Zoom meeting or Google Meets meeting, but
mhm.
ultimately you want to be in one-on-one conversation
Yep.
because sometimes what happens as well is client will stumble
Hmm.
really naming and languaging that progress, but you, as the founder, or maybe you have a client success manager on your team
Hmm.
who
Hmm.
really understands your clients, they themselves can bring into field what they are noticing, what they are observing, highlight
Hmm.
the wins, highlight the
Hmm.
breakthroughs, and help the client remember and recognize and validate the progress that has been established.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good, Dagmar. I mean, I can totally see how this is going to be, how I can actually implement this inside of my group program. So typically when, people are working in a group, it's very, very different because they don't get that one-on-one experience unless they upgrade. But just having a quick 15-minute check-in once a quarter Wow, I can totally see how incredibly valuable that would be, not only to the business for market research and checking in and making sure, that you're serving in a way that you most want to serve, but also in helping your people that typically don't have that one-on-one access to you feel seen, feel heard, feel connected, feel nurtured, and really cared about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited for you to bring the structure to your
Yeah,
people and to your clients. It
yeah, me
is
too.
going to be, but I think it's very nourishing for us as service
Hmm.
providers,
Hmm.
but also at the same time, it gives us opportunity to almost take out of blind spots areas where we might need to change something or adjust something
Hmm.
or maybe create a new group agreement
Hmm.
or a certain structure in place that truly allows our clients to succeed and feel good in the process of
Yes.
success, feel good in the progress of growth.
Absolutely. And I always, I want to deliver exceptional, value for my people. It's not just giving more content. It's actually giving people something that they need, that they're asking for, something that's going to help them collapse that timeline to their success a lot quicker. So, I'm always bringing out either another experience or adding on something into the program because it's been asked for, or taking a look and finding out, gosh, where are people stuck? When we first, back in 2018, started Activate Abundance Academy, one of the places that I saw my people getting stuck over and over and over again was in tech. And
Mhm.
so we started doing monthly tech calls with my personal VA so that people could get their questions answered so that they were not just sitting there getting stuck and not ever moving forward because they felt like this was such a big piece. So I'm super excited. I'm listening. I always listen to what my people are asking for, but I really, really like this being a more personal experience that you can actually connect with them. And for a boutique business, I think that's important too, right? We're not dealing with thousands of clients. We're dealing with intimate experiences with people, and I think that those relationships are just so valuable.
They matter. They matter.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
as one of my beloved mentor, he loves to say, the more we connect with our
Mhm.
people, the more we collect from a
Yeah.
money
Ooh, I
perspective.
like that. The more we connect, the more we collect. Yeah.
Correct. That's
And I
right.
also just want to say, I love the quarterly idea because you don't want to wait until the very end. Like, you don't want to wait
Mhm.
until our last month and say, okay, this is our last call. What are we doing next? Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, wow. I love, love, love this so much.
Powerful. So
Hmm.
if we go back to this third piece of what does it
Hmm.
look like to have a really powerful re-enrollment conversation, ultimately, without giving you script, I want to highlight two core pieces.
Hmm.
So when it comes to the growth pathway, we are looking at really understanding what has our client achieved in us working together so far. And as we said earlier, really, what are their yearnings
Hmm.
for growth, for success, for certain ambitions moving forward. And
Hmm.
whether they are repeating the same program or you're
Hmm.
inviting them into some sort of retreat or upsell, whatever the next step is, the next step is serving their growth pathway.
Hmm.
So opportunity one is talking about the growth pathway. Opportunity two, which I feel is not being spoken enough about when it comes to re-enrollment, is really understanding clients' emerging needs. And
Hmm.
that's especially true in the healing and in transformational work.
Yeah.
So through our program so far, client might have met a certain level of needs. But as a result of the healing, the breakthrough, the shifts in beliefs that has been established so far, new sets of is very, very true when it
Hmm.
comes to health, very, very true when it comes to topic of parenting, very, very true when it comes to certain elements and certain segments of marriage.
Hmm.
So In this case, our next chapter, the re-enrollment conversation, is really supporting our client through mentoring, teaching, accountability structure
Mm-hmm.
in meeting their emerging needs.
Mm-hmm.
So we have growth pathway on one side, we have emerging needs on other side, and in a lot of conversations, really the intersection of the two,
Mm-hmm.
emerging needs plus the growth that they are envisioning for themselves moving forward.
This is
And
beautiful.
the beautiful piece is really when we take these three things together. So we've spoken about mindset,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that this is about act of stewardship. Then
Mm-hmm.
second, having the pathway where continuation is baked into working with you. And number three, really the re-enrollment is both part of a regular pulse check-in to understand the progress and the needs of your clients as you're continuing working with them, while at the same time, at the re-enrollment conversation is truly understanding your client's next
Mm-hmm.
chapter. This is the
Mm-hmm.
secret sauce to truly helping us open the floodgates when it comes to re-enrolling our
Mm.
beloved and destiny clients into our next chapter.
This was so helpful. Dagmar, tell us how we can get in touch with you. This has been so, so good. Like, where can we find you? I know we're on Substack together, but where else? And we'll definitely put, all of these amazing links down below in the description.
I love that invitation. Thank you so much. So, yes, I'm very active on Substack. My publication is called Clients for Life Programs That Last. And for those of you that are active on Substack, I would love for you to connect with me, send me a message, and I will be very happy to share with you a word for word conversation on how to actually hold a re enrollment conversation with confidence, with clarity, and in a way that is a win-win for everyone involved. Win for you, win for your client, and win for the universe. If you are a person on Facebook, you can do exactly the same. Connect with me on Dagmar Khan and send me a message, and I'll be very happy to share the script with you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. So, everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube, check in the description. If you are listening for the podcast, be sure to check the show notes. We're going to have this also up in our podcast inside of Substack. So, be sure to grab that with Dagmar. This is so, so important. And I just want to kind of finalize, like, is there anything that you want to kind of share that you want people to kind of learn or walk away with about implementing this inside of their practice?
I love this final invitation. And I really believe, Chris, this is boiling down back to the mindset piece, which
Mm-hmm.
is truly recognizing both for the greater mission of your business and the way the mission of your business can serve your clients in an ongoing multi-year journey. That
Mm-hmm.
implementing these structures, it's almost like you being a steward. I live in Ireland. We have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of farms here and a lot of farmers that steward dozens
Uh-huh.
of sheep. This is like being this steward of
Mm.
your farm being your clients, and
Mm-hmm.
fostering this fertile soil
Mm-hmm.
in which their evolution, in which their growth, in which really their embodiment of the goals and dreams can, through your stewardship service of re-enrollment, come true. So hold it as such. And any sort of structural questions, connect with me on socials and we can have a conversation.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your genius. I know this is super, super helpful. Everybody, be sure to make a comment below. We will absolutely circle back around, answer any questions that you might have. Dagmar, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for
It's
being
been an
here.
honor, Chris. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, we will see you next time. Thanks for listening.